Hey leaders, welcome to the back porch, Topsail Island, North Carolina. So it's above 60 degrees and I'm outside. You know, I used to be hard back in the day as an airborne ranger, but not anymore. 60 degrees is my cut line. It's a beautiful day and I'm glad to be back with you. So what am I talking about? Words are only 50% of the solution. Well, they are. You want 100%. The other half of that is deeds or activities, events and activities behind those words that really get them into play in your organization. The 22nd Infantry Regiment in the Army has a great motto, deeds, not words. Now, I never served in the coveted 22nd Infantry Regiment, but what a great motto that is. So it wasn't just enough to say things in the 22nd. You had to put activities behind it, and they were serious about what they said. Deeds, not words. Hey, let's not lose sight of words. Words are absolutely important. I mean, they are 50% of this solution. And my advice to you, my counsel is to be a broken record in your organization. First off, get the right wording. Get your guidance right, get your vision right, get your values right. Whatever soundbite that is that's going to drive that organization to excellence, get it right, and then be a broken record in your organization. Say it all the time. Investing in people was number one in my brigade, and I said it all the time. I must have said it 10 or 20 times a day, a million times in my 2 years as the brigade commander or CEO of a large organization, because I wanted everyone to know that I meant it. A mentor of mine once said, if you want something done right once, you got to say it 10 times. And there's a lot of truth to that. Be a broken record in terms of your words. Very, very important. But if that's as far as you go, that's 50% of the effort. There's got to be activity behind it, deeds. And what am I talking about? Well, it's several different things. It's measuring what you say. So if you subscribe to a set of values, then you ought to be measuring that. One of the organizations I consult has a great set of values they encapsulate in the word spirit, service, professionalism, teamwork, integrity, things like that they hold dear. Otherwise, they're just another company. Those values are really important. So what I did was I helped them build a rubric and measure those words, because they had a great set of values, but it was just words. There wasn't much behind it. So take one of them off the list, service. How do you know that the people in the organization are living by service and doing events, deeds related to service? Well, you have to measure that. So Jim is out there and he's serving the customer, and he knows that customer service is one of the values of the organization. Regardless of the need of the customer, he's there to serve the customer. And then you measure that in your counseling or mentoring or whatever you call it in your industry. Hey, Jim, you're doing well in service. You're not doing so great in teamwork. And right now I've got you around a 60% on how I measure you using the rubric that Rob Campbell gave me in measuring you in teamwork. You left Mary Ann kind of hanging on that project last week, and that was not a good example of teamwork. So these are the things I want to see out of you over the next period. And we'll sit down and talk about that. Deeds behind these words. Go out and inspect. That's another activity, another deed you can do to ensure your words are actually, happening. The non-commissioned officers I served with in the Army, the ones that taught me how to be a leader and taught me my craft, had a great saying. Doers do what checkers check. And boy, isn't that true? Going out and inspecting. I'm not telling you to be a micromanager, but you have every right, and it's your duty to go out and inspect and ensure that your guidance, your vision, your values, your culture is actually underway in the organization. Surveys, things like that are very important in terms of how people in the organization see those words and act upon those words, and if those words are actually happening in your organization, like vision, values, and culture. So I was with a client this week, taking them through a vision session on how to create an organizational vision. What a great session. This is organization's 4 years old, and I took them back to that moment on the porch where a handful of them were drinking beer and they had this great idea, and they started this business. Now, what they didn't do is they didn't codify that idea into a vision statement and put that into practice in their organization. But that's okay. They're doing well. They recognize their faults, and I've helped them get to that spot. We're going to create a vision statement to include values and culture, but more importantly, get some activities behind that, like maybe a kickoff starter campaign or things like that, to get those words and that vision into action. Another activity or deed is sensing sessions. I did those often in my brigade, where I would pick out subcultures that I would find out if soldiers were actually being counseled and developed, if we were investing in our people, which was number one in my brigade, to see if that was actually occurring. And if it wasn't, I could go out and find out why and get that fixed and get the deed behind my word. Really important. Bring both of those together. Don't just say it. Go out and do it. You want some more on this? Call me or get my book. Have a look at this. It's personal, not personnel. I talk about measuring in here. I talk about deeds in here, measuring effectiveness over performance, effectiveness of your efforts. It's a really great chapter. So I'll give it to you right here in the book. But give me a ring, connect with me on email, robcampbellleadership.com, and let's strike up a conversation about this. Let me help you get the deeds, the other 50%, into your organization. Thanks for watching, and make it personal.